As you know, I'm Kainton, the Tech Pro, and today we are going to continue from where we stopped. This will be tutorial 28, 28 of our Spring Boot tutorials in 2019. And today we are going to continue working with databases. And the last tutorial we set up H2 database. We are able to access the H2 console. And today we are now going to see how to work with data. We also have discussed about our relationships in Spring Boot, but there is much more to do. So today I'm going to show you how to initialize this database. For instance, I'm going to run this application and let's see where we are. So this is our application, the social API application we are working with. I'm going to run it and then let's access H2 database, and then I'll explain to you how you can load some data into H2 database. So now if you look in my website, let me see. Actually, I gave some of these steps I'm going to follow today, but I really don't think it's very complete. I think it starts from step 8. Alright, so I think it's running now. Again, I'd like to remind you to subscribe if you've not subscribed, so you can see Tomcat started application on port 8080. So let me go to H2 database. I'm going to refresh. So if I connect, you can see that if I go to location and say run, you see that there is nothing there. If I go to post, actually I have to delete this. I go to post and click on run and see there is nothing there. Again, take note that the Spring actually have added user ID as a foreign key to the post table. We did not add it, we simply specify location as a member variable of post. We only specify user as a member variable of post, but user from Spring Boot have figured out how to add user ID to create this primary key. Alright, so you see there is nothing there. So how to insert some few data as a startup data or to initialize your database is to create a file called data.sql in the application directory and then write initial queries. So let's just do it and see how it is. For instance, let me try to do something here. So assuming I click on location, rubbish. Let's say run. Okay, it's name and ID. So let me go to my application. I'm going to just collapse this. So if you go to src main resources, I'm going to just say new and I'm going to choose file and I'm going to call it data.sql. Now I think you can't really change the name. You need to call it data.sql and I'm going to say finish. Alright, so I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to say open with, and I'm going to open maybe test editor. And it opens here. So here I can now write insert queries. For instance, I can say insert into location values, location 1, and let's say, what is this? Okay, I don't really know why this interrupted me. So let's continue. Insert into location values. Remember, it will be single quote, not double quotes. Budapest, Hungary. So I'm going to save this. Maybe I'll just add one more. Copy and paste. Alright, so value 2 Nigeria. Okay, so just save it and then I'm going to restart this application. So let's see and make sure that this data actually inserted into the database. So let's see. Okay, let's see. So I think everything worked and Tomcat started. Okay, so if I go to H2 database and then if we maybe refresh because we just relaunched it, and I'm going to connect and I'm going to now go to location and click on run. You can see that it has two data inputs there. But now if we go to another table, for instance post, user and run it, we see there is nothing there, lot of posts, and we run it, there is nothing there as well. So let's write a query to also insert into post table. But take note, there is something that you need to pay attention to about this particular query we are going to write. So what I'm going to do, since I've written part of it, I'm going to just copy what I have here. So let's go to our data.sql file. So I'm going to paste it. So now I am inserting into location. Oh, sorry, I should actually insert into users, because users is related to location. So let me go copy the ones I have written to insert into user. So let's paste it, Control V. So let me run it and let's see if actually this data will be inserted into the table. Alright, so what you'll see now is an error. So we have error, it failed to start, as you can see. And this is a problem for beginners that it can actually be a very big problem for new users. The problem is that I can just try to look at the stack trace so that I'll explain it to you. The problem is that it's trying to insert into users at the same time inserted into locations. So at this point, this query is running asynchronous. So they are running at the same time. So it's assumed that the location table is not ready, and we are trying to insert users using some location ID, meaning that those location actually doesn't exist where we are trying to insert users. So that is why, if you look at the stack trace of the error, you can see that it says, let's just scroll all the way. So it says syntax error, but actually there's, okay, even if there's, let me put this semicolon here. Close up this, and I'm going to relaunch it. So actually it's not syntax error, it's a violation, because it doesn't find the location table and it doesn't find those keys it's trying to insert into. So let's go to select now from location. Select from location run. See. So now we have some data in location. So let's go to check. This time from users, because there are some 2 users we tried to insert. So I'm going to go to user and also, okay, so at this point it actually inserted. So the key thing I would like to let you know is, let's go back to the query we are running. So here you see that if I take out the semicolon at the end, it actually will fail. So the best thing for you to do is that after inserting into any table, it's good to issue a commit statement, right? So like this, put a commit statement and also end it with semicolon. And the same thing, put a commit statement at the end of this, and then you can now insert in the next table. So for each table, you put a semicolon. For each table, you put a semicolon. And in that way, you are sure that everything is going to run. For each table, you put a commit and put a semicolon. So I'm going to copy. For the last one, this is going to be, we are inserting into posts. All right. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it. So I'm going to put a semicolon at the end, and I'm going to save. And I'm going to relaunch it. So at this point, I have data in all the 3 tables right there. And the first table is a table with no relationships at all. The second table is a table that has a relationship with the first one. And the last table have a relationship with the second one. So if you change the order of this query, you have an error. So the location table has to be ready before we insert users, because the users actually is related to the location, right? So keep that in mind as you write queries like this, because you might have errors, you don't know where it's coming from. So as it is now, we've initialized our database. Now you also understand about relationships. So now let's go to refresh this. I'm going to connect. So at this point, I should have data in all my tables. So you have from user, from post, and as well from location. Alright, so what I'm going to show you now is when you say select data, select start from location is okay. But now we are working with H2 console, and it's kind of simplifying everything, making it very easy. When we are working with REST API, it may not be that easy. So let's go to the browser, and I'm going to, at this point, I'm going to select, at this point, if I go to select locations, it gives me a list of locations in the database. The same thing, now if I select users, let me show you what is going to happen. It's going to also it's also going to give us location details. So at this point, you can see the location details comes here. You can see as a JSON object. So that is what happens when we are making REST calls. We are going to solve this in the next tutorial. And then if we come back to H2, you can see select from user. You see that at this point it gives only the location ID. But when we are getting it as JSON, it gives the location object. So this is one thing you need to have in mind, because in the next class we are now going to try to filter users based on location. So we are going to select users based on particular location. So I'd like you to play around with this. I think the procedure is here. Yeah. So play around with it. Make sure you understand how to get data, how to initialize your database, and then we'll see in the next lesson. I'd like to remind you to subscribe to my channel. If you have challenges, let me know in the comment box, and also feel free to share this video. And so see you in the next class.